Hi everyone, welcome back to TS Talks. Hope you're all doing good, keeping safe. Now, again, if you haven't already done so, go hit that subscribe button now and also hit the notification bell so that obviously you get notified as soon as the new content drops. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's both in the description box below. Now in this one, I'm just talking about Starbucks and, a cashless incident which I encountered about a week ago. Well, I didn't personally encounter it, but I saw this article about a week ago regarding a guy called Kevin Fraser, who, he'd posted a video of his recent trip to a Starbucks in Edinburgh. Now, overall, in response to the whole, coronavirus pandemic, many shops have, moved to cashless payments only. In some places they've said, preferably, pay contactless or card where possible. Now, in regards to, Kevin, who, he's not someone I know, he's just someone I've come across from, looking at this article. When he went to that Starbucks on that particular day, he initially, refused to provide his details for the whole, test and trace, test and protect scheme, which, I can understand why things like that have kind of been put in place, this whole test and trace thing. But the reality of it is if someone goes to, if I go to a restaurant, I go to Starbucks, I go to Costa, I go to various places within a day, and then I find out, okay, I've had the symptoms of this, it's very unlikely that the place is even going to find out that I had that. Like, many people tend to forget all the stuff they've done within the day. So, I can understand the reasons why it's put in place. But yeah, he initially refused to provide his details for that, which I'm not saying I back his decision to do that. He had his reasons behind it. And, he stated that, he doesn't need to give his name to buy a panini, which, at the end of the day, if it's not mandatory, then you don't directly need to go ahead and do it. Now, in this article, it states that, that the staff members in there went on to explain to him that, they can't accept cash payments. And, this is where he kind of said to them, well, your company doesn't decide what legal tender is. And, to be honest, I wholeheartedly believe he has a point. Yes, I understand that there's a pandemic which has been going on for the majority of this year. And yes, I understand that many places have moved to the point of saying that, preferably, not cash payments. But at the end of the day, it's legal tender. He even went on to mention that, that if they were going to call the police, he asked them if they're going to call the police. And then in the end, he ended up paying for the role with cash. Obviously, he stated that he left a tip because obviously they wouldn't give him change because they said he couldn't accept the cash. He ended up giving the role to a homeless man. Now, I think my thing on this is, as a company, you can't determine, what is not, legal tender. As far as I'm aware, you can still go to the bank and get our money, because I see loads of people queuing outside banks, especially on Saturday mornings now. Loads of people are queuing outside banks. People can still get money out of cash points and all this stuff. So, and for some people, they're still getting paid cash in hand. I don't know how properly people are still getting paid cash in hand in, 2020, but for some people, they still are. So, for a shop to turn around and say, well, yeah, we don't accept this. It's like, well, you're not really in a position to state what it is you do or don't accept, You're a company that's, yes, you're all over the place, but whilst you're here in this country and even in the other countries that you're based in, cash is legal tender there. So you can't turn around and say, well, you know what, no, you can't pay cash here. That's just me giving my thoughts on it. I do believe that going forward there is a plan towards making things, like a cashless society. Like, I think it's in China or somewhere in that part of Asia that, they've got a thing like WeChat, which is like, you're paying from your phone. And, I've seen some videos, well, not so much of the whole cashless society, but people out there using that as their methods of payment and whatnot. And, I'm not here to give my thoughts on whether I think that's a good or bad idea. You know, I definitely do think it's something they're looking towards doing in the future, and probably now is an ideal time for them to try and start implementing that. But for me, until there's something put in place where it says, yeah, well, cash is no longer legal tender, I personally don't think any company can refuse someone that, you know, chooses to pay cash. And, you know, that's just my personal opinion on it. So, yeah, that was me just giving my thoughts on it all. I'd be grateful if you'd give me your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, go hit that subscribe button now. And I'll catch you next time.